Well, it's the morning of my last full day out here on the trail. So very strange feelings after being out here for 8 weeks. So yeah, it'll be a pretty normal day. I just have one of the things I won't miss, the bugs. So I have a pretty normal day, just a full day of hiking. Hiking in towards the town of Lickdale, Pennsylvania. And yeah, it really will just be a pretty normal day, but I'll just be thinking a lot about this the whole time. And then I'll get in and I'll camp tonight, and then I just have just a few miles, like a pretty short day tomorrow, to just get right beyond the road that goes into Lickdale, and then I get picked up and shuttled out tomorrow. So be thinking about a lot of things today. It was a great night last night, listening to that creek all night long. I don't know what is causing this, but this is the most orange stream I have seen out here yet. I'm sure there's something in the rocks up here or something, but look at that. All right, so there's an alternate dry route that most people are taking to go around the creek down here because apparently there's beavers that tear up the bridge, build a big dam. The water's really boggy, it's hard to get through, whatever. So I'm gonna go give this route a try. But I'm not so sure I'm making the right decision. We'll see. Well, the AT, this is literally the AT right here, right? It goes up, and this is what it ends up into. And as far as I can tell on my map, it says Stony Bridge, or Stony Creek Footbridge. Now maybe that's something beyond this, but that's what I see here. And this is it. So if you look way up ahead, you can see a blaze all the way on the other side, right there in the middle of the screen. So you just have to trudge through this beaver dam, sinking in, and looks like in some places it's not even there, so you're just walking through the water and sinking, and I don't really even know. Not sure whether to take my shoes off or leave them on. I think I'm going to take everything off and just walk barefoot, see what happens. And didn't even know the AT had anything like this on it. I'm going to try to video also, and I guess if I really need both of my hands, then the video will end abruptly in the middle and I'll just put it away, but I'm going to try my best to video through it, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to start getting ready. This smells horrible in here. This is getting deeper and smells absolutely horrible in here. There's some people across getting ready to come over towards me. Dude, if you fell over in this, that would just be really horrendous. It really would be. Oh my gosh. Ow. It's so freaking deep here. Getting closer. Probably about halfway. I have no idea what is under this water though. Yeah! Okay, we made it through. Cleaned up a little. Had an old rag, I just kind of wiped some of the mud off. And now we got very little water because I should have listened and gotten water a little sooner, but I thought there would be water down there. But it was so nasty, there's no way I'm drinking it, so now I got about 4 miles with hardly any water, but and that's the end of the day. So I'll just go and get there and get in the water and clean up my nasty legs and hands and trekking poles and get a good drink and not wear these socks again. Man, I want to be there. I'm ready to be there. Only another mile or two. It's camp time. Well, one more day, almost down. Made it through the bog. Really, other than that, it was a pretty easy day. Even the hills were easy, the rocks were not huge. I know next year when I come back, I'm gonna get the worst of Pennsylvania with all the rocks, but this first part's been pretty easy. As you might be able to hear in the background, I'm surrounded by roads. Just crossed a couple roads, going ahead, and another road soon, and anyway, but getting ready to crash out for my last night here. And I think that's all I have to say about it. I could say lots of really deep emotional things, or I could just say I'm gonna miss it. I'm definitely gonna miss it. Well, I'm here in this last morning packing up my tent and having all the weird little kind of revelations about how life's gonna change, as I usually do on the last day. You know, I was just pulling out my tent stakes and scraping the dirt off each one and banging them out, and you know, just the whole routine that I go through, you know, put this in this bag and that in this bag and everything in order and whatever. And just realizing, you know, like it might be months and months before I do any of these things again, even though, you know, they've just been a part of my daily routine now for 2 months. It's strange, you know, just wondering, I don't just tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and life's totally different. And it's always such a weird feeling to realize those things. And then of course it'll be really weird tomorrow when I'm not doing the things that I normally do, and the day after and the day after. So anyway, I'm getting it together. It's a really nice morning, and yeah, getting ready to do a little bit of hiking on my last day. Heading out for the day. You know, it's funny, I've been thinking the last few days kind of about this, just about getting off the trail. And you know, I think I'd mentioned a couple videos ago feeling you know, that I thought, you know, I was really going to be kind of dwelling on all this like I do, and you know, maybe sad to leave the trail and all that kind of stuff. But you know, it's really interesting as I've been thinking about this. You know, I don't feel sad to leave the trail like I usually have in the past. I mean, you know, where I just really feel like I should be out here longer, and I just need to be out here longer, and I'm supposed to be out here longer. And I don't feel that way right now. But I think part of it is, it's hard to explain, and maybe I don't even fully understand it. I think part of it is that, you know I have to get off the trail. You know, I really feel like if I knew I was going to be out here another 2 or 3 months to finish the whole trail, that I'd be good with that. I mean, it does pain me a little to not finish this, just like it did last year. But also, I think for the first time ever, I have been out here long enough that, you know, I've started to have the first feelings of, you know, this is hard to be out here. And there is some hardship, and there is a lot that you give up when you're out here as well. And it doesn't mean I don't love it, and it doesn't mean I couldn't stay out here another 2 or 3 months. But having been out here this amount of time, almost 2 months, there's a part of me that is just okay with it. You know, it's like, wow, it's gonna be nice to, you know, sleep in a bed. It's gonna be nice to eat real food. It's gonna be nice to not walk 1,000,000 miles every day. It's gonna be nice to, you know, not just eat and eat and eat and eat and still keep losing weight. So I feel like I'm a lot more at peace with this time than I have been in the past. And I think it's probably just the amount of time I've been out here. And it's kind of gotten me to a place mentally that I hadn't been able to get to before, because I'd only be out for maybe 2 weeks at a time. So I hope that made some sense. One of the things I haven't really talked about during this entire hike is my weight. And I mentioned it just a bit ago in the video. But definitely another aspect of being out here for 2 months instead of, you know, 2 weeks is that I've seen some things happen with my weight that I have not ever experienced before and didn't really expect, although I've heard people talk about it. And that is, well, there's a couple things. One is just the way that you know, the way your hunger is. So, you know, people talk about the hiker hunger that sets in at some point during a long hike like this. And man, you know, has it ever. I mean, I can walk into a town and really just eat about any amount of anything that's set down in front of me. I mean, maybe I need to stop for 15 minutes and let it all settle, but then I can just keep going and of course, you know, eat 5 pancakes and 4 eggs and, you know, 8 pieces of bacon and a couple glasses of orange juice and then you know, go hiking, and an hour and a half later, I mean, I need to have something to keep myself going. And same thing at night. I mean, obviously I'm not able to eat this way on the trail, but you know, if I'm in a town, going through a town or something, and I can have a big dinner, you know, a monster hamburger and fries and a side salad and, you know, on, dessert and everything, and just stuff myself and go to bed. And the next morning, I mean, I wake up at, you know, 6 o'clock, and the first thought in my head is food. I mean, I'm hungry. I am waking up because I need to eat something. And so there's that. And then there's the other part about not gaining any weight. I mean, you know, the first 2-3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks on the trail, you know, I noticed that I'm getting in better shape and probably losing a little bit of weight. Definitely losing a little bit. But then all of a sudden, it just doesn't matter what you do, how much you eat, you're losing it in, you know, in piles. I mean, I am at the point now where I am cinching my pants up so tight, it's almost comical. You know, they're folding over on themselves just because I have to cinch them up so tight to keep them on my body. And again, it just doesn't matter how much I eat. I mean, I can eat all, you know, this last week or so in Pennsylvania, I've been going through towns, quite often, so I'm stopping and eating quite often. Of course, you know, I was with Fresh Ground for a few days there, eating just crazy amounts of food. And really, that's when I was losing the most of my weight. So, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see. You know, I have these ideas of going home now and, you know, eating a lot of salads and staying healthy and whatever. But the truth is, what happens to most people is they don't really change their eating habits. They go home and you're used to eating, you know, a half pound of M&Ms every day and a whole bunch of bars and a big breakfast and a big dinner and on and on and on. And you keep doing that and you end up putting your weight plus some back on. So I'll definitely keep you posted on what happens with that, but my plan is not to do that, you know. Go home and adjust my eating habits and try to stay in as good a shape as I'm in now. Well, that's kind of fun. I just ran across some of the people from the group that I was with when we were following Fresh Ground, where he was following us. So kind of fun on my last day to just run across them. They were leaving late from camp, so I passed them up and saw them and just got to at least say hi and bye. That was fun. And something else I was going to bring up, you know, I think you've heard me say before, you know, you're always kind of assessing what you do on the trail and trying to sort of improve things, become more efficient. And whenever I get done with a hike, I always kind of look back at things and, you know, just try to figure out what did I maybe not need to bring, what can I do different next time, and things like that. But just an example of how just what you learn is this morning I'm packing up and I have my headlamp, which I always keep in my tent with me at night just in case I need it, even though I very rarely use it. But this entire trip I have kept that headlamp in the back pocket of my backpack so that I can get to it if I need to, sort of in an emergency. You know, it's getting late or something, or, you know, even if I got hurt and it was dark and I just need to access it without unpacking my whole pack. So I always keep it in that back pocket. And I just realized when I put it in there this morning that, first of all, why do I need to put it in there this morning? I'm not going to be on trail tonight, you know, so I didn't even need to really do that. But secondly, that I did not use it one time this entire hike where I needed to access it late like that. And so, you know, it's a really minor detail, but, you know, do I really need to have that thing in that back pocket? I've been worrying this whole time that I might lose it because it's in a back pocket instead of packed away. And sometimes kind of in the way, it gets caught on my water bottle or filter when I am taking, you know, that out to use it throughout the day. But I just kept it back there the whole time because I thought, you know, maybe it was going to serve a purpose, and it never did. So just small things like that that I will make adjustments to, and probably should have been smart enough to already make the adjustment. But anyway, be interesting to see when I get home and really reflect on all this, what that list is. List of things that I could have left, or things I should have brought, or what I could do a little differently. Well, I'm getting very close to my pickup point where I'm going to get shuttled out of here. And I found one ripe wild raspberry that I'm going to eat. And it might be the last wild raspberry I have for a long time. Except, look at that. There's a whole bunch of wild raspberries that are ripe. So I'm going to pick a whole bunch of them and eat them. Yes. I'm gonna miss those. Well, getting ready to get picked up and shuttled off the trail. There was a minor confusion with the shuttle driver about where I was supposed to be and directions, and so I hiked maybe about a half mile up the mountain further than I should have. So I'm backtracking right now to get to the parking lot where she'll pick me up. I think it's she. And yeah, so I get an extra mile on the trail, half mile up and a half mile back, which I'm not complaining about at all.